last time on Warp Zone, we had opened up Home Depot Home Designer, and we started making a house that I could use in VRChat. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep on working on it. And then, like, I barely touched it. The last thing I did was I spent a stupid amount of time combining a bunch of, like, basically every single wall was made out of completely separate triangles. So I had to combine everything and remesh a bunch of stuff. And also I've just been slapping windows everywhere because I'm realizing that, like, I kind of feel like I'm building just like a shitty suburban home because I don't know where any windows are supposed to go. Also, I decided it should be on like a cliffside because that'd be spooky. The real goal, ceiling spelt wrong. That's a good thing. My real goal is figuring out the layout of this upstairs room, and then this is gonna be like an outdoor bar area, and I'm gonna put a pool table here. What I'm gonna have happen here, right? Okay, enter my mind palace. Okay, but the background is gonna be like there's city down here, and there's city around. And this is like a strip of like single family homes / townhouses in an urban district, which is why it looks like this. It totally isn't just because in VRChat having small spaces is a nightmare. So they're urban houses still, right? Like they're gonna be near like some sort of like public transit system because I don't hate myself. And this is gonna be like a public park. If you've never been to New York City, one of the nice things about New York City compared to the rest of the United States, which is a nightmare to live in, by the way, is that like New York City has all these public parks with like basketball courts and stuff. Most of them are basketball courts because basketball is like really popular. And you only need like one ball. You don't need to have like a million fucking tennis rackets. And this will be like on every single fucking corner. You will have trees. You will have this little area for public recreation surrounded by commercial and residential spaces. And that's what this is gonna be. Here's the problem. I can't let the player actually go too far because I don't want to have to make a bunch of areas that are nice to look at and walk around in. So the issue becomes, how do I create a way to keep the player confined to this without making it look like I'm in some sort of closed off rich person property? Because even in my wildest dreams, I don't want that, right? Like I don't want to be living in a mansion completely sequestered away from the rest of humanity. So how do I make an urban area where you can't move? Like, do I just put like fucking roadblocks there? I don't know. Invisible walls clearly to get that. I was kind of were you there for the Broken Reality stream? So in that game, there's a lot of areas that are gated off with like pop-up ads that you can only get rid of once you get an item that lets you slice through viruses like a fucking katana. Maybe this is like still in the computer. So maybe there's just a bunch of like floating pop-up ads blocking sidewalks and like you can't get around the trees or something. The question of null casting, how are you gonna get this to work in Unity? We're not worrying about that. Right now, I just have to worry about making this usable. Like here, for example, where do I put the fucking door? Here's my concern. So this space, this green flooring space, I want to represent my my awesome gaming room that I have here in the computer. I want this to be a room, and it will still have all the standard VRChat things of like a video player and then like a mirror to sit in front of like a fucking maniac. I don't understand how people could just sit in front of the mirror all fucking day. It's strange to me. Then again, I do look like this, and I am designing a home for VRChat, so like, the glass houses and all that shit. Like, is this enough room to enter a room? And then the issue of me not wanting to have my back to a door when I'm on the computer continues in virtual reality. I'm like super normal, by the way, in case you were wondering. I don't have like any problems whatsoever. Yeah, I have the same hang up. Thank you. Every single fucking week, my mom walks in my room and she goes, "Null, don't you want to move your computer into like a different room? And also, why do you have that entire 90s like workstation, and why does it make really weird noises?" And I go, well, actually, I prefer to not have my computer on full display for everyone to walk by it. And also, please, whatever you fucking do not touch the PC workstation from the 90s. And if it has a pop-up that says launch avatar system, do not press any buttons or else you'll be stuck in the computer. And then she goes, what? And then I go, nothing. This is gonna be like the entry zone. Maybe I'll put like a closet here or something, like a fake closet for clothes, and then you open up the closet and it's just the same 3D texture over and over and over. What does happen when someone else goes into the computer? I presume that it would also recognize, like, it would decide that they are a developer account and plop them in with some sort of weird visage like me. But I think if my mom got teleported into a computer world and she looked like some sort of alien devil creature, and suddenly there was like a cube trying to talk to her, I think she would die on the spot. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen. Like, I'd rather not find out what happens if someone isn't recognized as a developer and they try to access the program. I would rather not learn about what that does. Like, I tried talking to the professor about that, and he just goes, well, don't let anyone do it! And it's like, well, thanks. Us 5 have more hearts than 2K at other streams. That is true. I think getting over 1,000 viewers at something is scary. I think it's scary. How do you even moderate that? Presumably you just have to have a fuck ton of moderators that have, like, supervision. I see more of an issue of how you're gonna pay them all. People pay their moderators? That's a joke. I know they do. I guess with all your awesome Squarespace money. You def seem like a Squarespace enjoyer. I programmed my own website. Wait, was that a joke about, like, low poly stuff? Because that's a good joke. My whole website's programmed. I made part of it in Dreamweaver 3 for Windows 98, but the rest of it was done up my own meaty paws and Adobe Flash and lots of Googling. That's no one. Don't make a use Squarespace. Don't make a fucking website. No, I'm kidding. Make a website. Am I kidding? The rewards are great, but the journey there is agonizing. Website code is no good, and anybody that pretends like it's good should not be trusted. Like imposter behavior. Imposter sussy behavior. Sus behavior. I'm gonna be using the single board computer I got to see if I can make my own website. There you go. Seriously, just make a personal website and make it look like shit. Every single week, I go up to my sibling and I'm like, I know you love to info dump online, but wouldn't it be so cool if we had a blog to do that? And they go, oh my god, yeah, that'd be so cool. And then we never sit down to make a website. And I'm like, it's cringe that I haven't done that yet. It's so fucking cringe, because, like, that would be so funny. Like, we should just do that. My website looks like shit, not in the good way. Does it convey information in a way that's readable? Because if it does, then it's fine. Like, if you're one of those people that puts yellow text on a white background, yeah, you should probably fix your website. I once got into an argument with someone at college because I was like, you should try to make your like game accessible. It's one thing to be like, this is a small project that no one's ever going to see. My website also probably isn't that accessible. But like my fucking roommate was like, sometimes it like compromises the art and it's like, maybe then you should die. I didn't actually say that, but it's like, come on, man. Is it really compromising things to have a little toggle to change how the colors look in your big video game? I guess like if you're trying to make something that sucks on purpose for everyone, then make it suck on purpose for everyone. Unless you're just bad. Don't do it on purpose. Like me, I just don't know how to get my website to look good on mobile. I'm sorry. I do not have the time to do that. Look at this thing. It's incredible. This upsets me. Those colors vibrating is no good. So the first time in a while, we went out to eat at a restaurant instead of having to do all the fucking cleaning, which first of all, awesome, because personally speaking, and this is gonna make me sound like a very whiny little brat, I sometimes kind of hate it when my mom decides to make a homemade meal because then we have to clean it up. Which I know sounds so cringe to say that. That's like the most idiotic thing I could ever say, but like sometimes it's really annoying to do the dishes. I'd rather just go out. And we went to this Italian place that like we've never been to, even though it's been here this entire time and it's had great reviews. We've always just gone to these other restaurants, and it was the best fucking Italian food I've had in this like shopping area. And I'm like kind of mad that we've never got to it before because it was so good. I want to just go, I want to go eat some more pork chop. I made homemade eggnog too using recipe words aged 3 weeks. Ooh, you age eggnog? I'm like realizing now I don't fucking understand how eggnog works. Like, I'm guessing there's eggs in it. I think the one that my coworker made had rum in it, which I discovered this morning when I made myself a nice little glass of it thinking it was the normal eggnog, and then I was like, oh, this is alcohol in it, or I'm dying. I'm eating a beer right now. Nice. Is it like a normal beer, or is it one of those beers with like the crazy images on the side? Whoever makes the graphic design for, what is it called, IPAs, should get a job where they can make graphic design like that's that beautiful for a product that people actually enjoy. I don't think I've ever seen anybody talk about IPAs in terms of flavor, ever. They're just like, oh yeah, this is a beer and it has this much alcohol in it. And it's like, that's cool. Can you make a beer that tastes good? It's like, can't do it. But here's the most gorgeous illustration you've ever seen in your entire life. on the side of this beer that you never want to touch. IPAs have amazing branding. And maybe I'm the cringe one for basing all of my drug consumption based on how it tastes, but like, I tried a Angry Orchard for the first time and I was like, why the fuck am I not just having this? This tastes like apple. How are you gonna stock this bar? I'm gonna make the world's shittiest 3D models of bottles, and I'm gonna put them there. I just played like 8 hours of a gacha game on... Okay, and don't judge me for this. You could judge me a little bit. Roblox. My little cousin was, during the Christmas party, was like, Null, I want you to play Roblox with me. And I'm like, I could do that. I just need to get in my old account so I could show you all my cool stuff I had when I was 9 years old. So I spent like an entire work afternoon going insane trying to, like, I was trying to figure out what account. I realized that I couldn't figure out what my email was for the account. So I sent a list of every single email that I've ever used since I was 9 up until I was 14 to Roblox's support team. I don't remember exactly which one it is, and some of these were with AOL, so they don't exist anymore. I provided potential passwords, I provided potential emails, I provided potential communications I would have had with support. 10 hours later, I get back a 2-line email from this guy named Carl that says, hi, we cannot verify your account identity with this information, so you cannot restore this account. Like, motherfucker, I gave you all the information. First of all, I sent a few, and I'm not proud of this, I sent a few mean messages back. I was like, hey, dude, what the fuck? What can I provide? Do you want my fucking credit card? Do you want my social security number? I have given you all my information. And then I started spam attempting every single old email I had and every single password I could have used. And then I realized through a process of elimination, by checking my because my sibling was able to get back into their account, which is like so fucked up. It's like, why couldn't I get back into my account? So I was like, okay, when's the last time we played? It was like, you played in high school for some reason. It's like, okay, so if I played in high school, that would have been after a password leak, which means that my password wouldn't be in a password dump, but it also means that I probably would have had to reset my password. So I tried my first high school password and it worked, and then it just went to my dad's email. Which, let me warn you, I sent that email to the guy at support who said that he couldn't help me. I sent the right email. I just couldn't remember the password, and I couldn't remember exactly which email it was, but I told him the exact email. And he said, nope, sorry, can't identify you. That was anyway. So I got back into Roblox. I double checked my account. I saw that Tix was gone. I saw that some of the items I had I could sell for like 800 bucks. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I could. This is not me flexing, by the way. There's nothing more pathetic than owning things that cost money in Roblox. It's like if VRchat sucked, is the vibe I'm getting from it. My impression of Roblox is made of cardboard. When I was younger, every single game I used to play was either like a raise a creature game or it was a build some sort of crazy fucking machine. And I was really looking forward to doing that again. Most of that stuff is not popular anymore. Most of it that's popular are gacha games, which, by the way, there's like full fucking MMOs of Roblox now. Insane. Full gacha MMOs of Roblox, or it's like roleplay things, which is actually kind of the same as when I was a kid, but like, with too much production value. Okay, right, bing bong, new story. Right, so, Fish Tank. Me and a few friends in VRchat for like 2 weeks, and it is for advertising products in and through virtual existence. I don't want to keep on saying metaverse, it sounds cringe, right? Some of these products are like things for VRchat or things for digital things, like 3D models, or like in this case, a fish tank prefab that has models and a really nice looking particle, and I like instantly spent 20 bucks on it because it looked nice. But some of it was like the Japan Center of Climate Change Research had a booth explaining how in the future we can design houses that have a neutral or positive carbon footprint. All these booths were set up really professionally, so you can like get the webpage link to go buy the 3D asset. Instead of a link to buy a 3D asset, you could open up a link to order food to your house if you lived in Japan, or like to open up a link in order to order like professional meat for your restaurant. It was honestly kind of insane. Here's the thing. I hate advertising. I hate it. I have ad block installed on every single application that I can know how to install it on. If I could have it installed on my cell phone in a way that made sense to my idiot-sized brain, I would. If all ads were contained to a well-designed thing that I could leave at any time and then I stopped seeing ads, I would never have an issue with advertisements ever again. I had the time of my fucking life. Anyway, there was this lovely fish tank preset, which I've modified it a little bit. You know, in case you can't tell, I've added a gizmo. This comes with like a base particle, which is these lovely little neon tetra particles that will like bounce off a collision, and they've got this awesome like wavy thing that you can customize. But I've added a second particle to this tank. Are you ready to see the second particle, chat? It's shimps. This is the best I could do, by the way. I cannot figure out a way to get these particles to not just fucking explode through the wall. Shimps. What do we think about a window here? Is that cringe? Like, right? Like, I don't understand how house architecture looks. I mean, like, what I spend my day doing is I like to go on, McMansion Hell on Reddit. But, like, look at this fucking thing. People make this. People produce this, and they sell it to other people who purchase it. Around the bathtub. Okay, that's enough looking at posts on Reddit. I've got to extract a bunch of shitty textures from a program for Windows XP now. Oh! Found it! Rotorbund, you are a defunct company. If you were around, I would ask you if it's alright for me to borrow these for my personal VR chat worlds that I'm not going to be making any money on. Textures! Look at all of them. I'm using all of these. I am going to continue working on this. It's just the stuff I need to do next involves launching stuff that probably shouldn't be good to show on stream, because it's like I'm going to need to launch like a special web page to transfer files. I don't want someone stealing my door. Thank you all for joining me here today on Funny Warp.